This week, the entire gaming industry and those pretending that they were going to buy an Xbox reacted to Microsoft raising the price of the Xbox like this.
Turn it off. Turn it off! Turn it off!
Yes, that price increased harder than Unc knees blowing out while running.
Oh. God damn! What happened? Did he blow a motor? Bruh, his engine light turned on immediately.
The question is, could Microsoft have avoided these price increases because of the tariffs? And to be honest, they could. Just like how Apple would have pre-ordered a number of their iPhones beforehand, before the tariffs took in effect, Microsoft could have done something similar to prevent the consoles from rising or raising higher. In addition, could Microsoft have absorbed the price increase when it comes to the tariffs taken in effect? Yes, they could have. And I would agree that raising a console 5 years after its launch is not a good look. In addition to that, I do understand that having the games at $80 does set a precedence. But let's be honest, there's a lot of fake outrage when it comes to Microsoft increasing these Xbox prices. The question is, all those who are complaining about the Xbox prices going up, were they planning on buying an Xbox soon? The answer is no. Those who are complaining that Microsoft have no right to raise the console, wasn't those the same ones who were saying that the Microsoft console is dead? So if Microsoft console is dead, why are they so concerned whether Microsoft raised the console or not? I mean, that's kind of weird. I could see it now. I could see persons in the comment section saying they don't have a problem with, with Microsoft raising the price of their consoles because either two reasons. One, they weren't going to buy Xbox console, or they already have an Xbox console. For those who are now looking to buy an Xbox console 5 years later, is maybe those who are now getting into gaming or don't really want to get their kid Xbox or so forth, right? Very likely you are listening to this channel or you are looking for consoles and you are bummed out because you are now going to get an Xbox after 5 years. The real issue persons are having is the price of games. Yes, Xbox has decided to raise the price of their games. This is following in the footsteps of Nintendo, who would have been the first company to do that. Now, persons are saying this is the issue with the recent announcements by Microsoft. Well, it's very simple. Microsoft would have addressed the high prices of games by allowing all on their platforms to have access to Game Pass. And let's face it, Game Pass price and value cannot be beaten, because if $80 for a game, that means 3 games would be $240, and $240 is the price of Game Pass for the year. Now, already for the year, Microsoft would have given us more than $240 worth in great titles on Game Pass, and the year is not even over. Matter of fact, we are not even at the half point of the year, and there are so many games coming onto Game Pass that is worth $50, $60, $70, $80. So right away, we are getting to play more games for the same price we would have paid for persons who are just spending $240. So that is the answer to the high game prices, Game Pass. Even if Microsoft decide to raise the Game Pass Ultimate by $5, it is still worth the price for the amount of games and content that is on Game Pass. That's a fact. I mean, just this year alone, we had Avowed, South of Midnight, we had Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, we had Oblivion remasters, arguably one of the best remakes we have seen so far, and there are so many other games coming. Wu Chang, we have also Doom. There are so many other games coming to Game Pass this year. It's far exceeds the $240 price tag that we pay a year for Game Pass. And that is it. So yes, we are bummed out that Microsoft is raising the price of the games to $80. We are bummed out that here what the consoles are rising after 5 years. But when we look at value, pound for pound, the value is still there when it comes to Xbox platform and also what Xbox is doing with Game Pass and so forth. So at the end of the day, fake outrage, this is just the ponies looking for another win. Speaking about the ponies, this week PlayStation had a state of play. It was a Borderlands state of play. Now, one was wondering that here, what this state of play had to, say something because remember all the previous state of plays was not hitting, and that is not just me saying that. This is what the PlayStation fans would have said, those who follow Jeff Keighley, because remember, since 2022 or 2021, I believe, Jeff Keighley have been putting up polls for the PlayStation fans to say how they felt about the state of play. And look at what we've seen there. Most of the grades the PlayStation community would have given the state of play was D and C. Look at this. Look at how many persons would have voted and how they voted. Very rare Sony would have gotten an A or a B. So for the previous years, Microsoft didn't do too well in showing their games, and it really showed with how the fans responded. So given that PlayStation had terrible state of plays, their own state of plays prior, one was expecting that Sony would at least have a state of play that showed their games. But everyone was complex as to why Sony is having a state of play for a multiplayer game, a third party multiplayer game. It's not only me was saying that. Listen to this guy.
Everything about that state of play was good, except there was this weird, and it could have just been me. But there was this weird stench in the back of it. I couldn't help but think every few minutes as I'm watching this, why is Sony presenting this? Why is Sony wasting their time, their money, their effort to show this state of play on a game that's not just theirs?
Where is Factions? You told us to wait, we waited, and you're still not here. Neil Druckmann, where are you?
It seemed like a loss of a potential chance to show something else. It seemed like, I don't know, it didn't fit. Almost as if they were trying too hard. It's almost like, when your favorite artist decides to do like a Christmas album, or decides to do a Spanish album or whatever, or a Spanish artist decides to do an English album. It's like, you good at what you do. Don't try to do something different. Sony is known for their first party exclusive beautiful gaming worlds and story driven narrative games, all that other stuff. They're not known for their third party publishing welcoming, I guess you can call it.
He's out of line, but he's right.
So it just wasn't Doc who was complaining about why is Sony even doing a state of play for Borderlands 4. It was even their own fans on Twitter saying that. Look at this. DX Ron on Twitter asks, where are your games, PlayStation? Jay Plays Games on Twitter states, is it just me or is it strange that Sony is dedicating a whole PlayStation State of Play broadcast to Borderlands 4 on April the 30th? I thought these kind of slots would be reserved for first party projects, like Lost Souls Aside, which is launching exactly a month from this show. And then another person replied saying, it's not just you, bro. We have all thought the same thing. It's very odd of Sony to backseat two of their big games, Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei, to feature Borderlands 4. Wow. And then it continued with more and more fans saying the same thing. Everyone is wondering, Why did Sony choose to, have or highlight this state of play when they are not showing their own games? So a lot of fans are not pleased with Sony when it comes to, that they would have highlighted Borderlands 4 instead of highlighting their own games. But let me hear what you thought about it. Are you looking forward to Borderlands 4? And did you expect Sony to highlight that game instead of one of their games? Let me know in the comment sections below. The sentiments all over the industry is that hear what? Games are so high. And a lot of gamers are saying this.
I can't eat. I'm broke.
Yes, that's the case for many gamers currently. But that is not the case for Xbox gamers and those who choose to be on the Xbox ecosystem, because Microsoft would have cornered the market, and we are seeing it's working for them. Microsoft is giving their players on Xbox platforms the ability to pay for the games or play it on Game Pass, where the majority has chosen to play it on Game Pass. They have given PC gamers the ability to play it also on PC Game Pass. And of course, the Ponies, the PlayStation gamers, they pay full price if they want to play these AAA games. Even some older games they are paying full price for. And because of that, Microsoft have seen some really great earnings when it comes to their software. Listen, look at this.
Xbox helped contribute to a 21% increase in segment profitability. Microsoft says the more personal computing segment saw increased gross margin thanks to contributions from Xbox, which just delivered a record Q3. Xbox just delivered record Q3 results, and these earnings helped boost the profitability of its home segment. Microsoft's Q3 FY25 earnings show an uptick in Xbox revenues, with the games division raking in $5.721 billion in the period. This is a new all-time third-quarter record for Xbox that pushes cumulative 9-month revenues to nearly $18 billion. But what about profitability? That's information that we don't get. Microsoft only reports profits of its individual segments. And since Xbox is part of Microsoft's more personal computing segment, we don't get actual profit margins for the Xbox division. We can still analyze the full extent in what Microsoft says about gaming. Though, according to Microsoft's latest quarterly SEC filing, gaming helped contribute to the increased profitability of the more personal computing segment. Throughout Q3, the segment's gross margin increased by 9%, or $623 million.
Gotcha.
Driven in part by gaming. By how much? We don't know. Operating income was up plus 21% and increased by $603 million. It's possible that Microsoft's bets towards more high-margin businesses like digital-oriented game sales and Xbox Game Pass subscriptions are paying off for the company.
So I thought the PlayStation community said that Game Pass was not profitable. I thought that Xbox as a division was dead. They were just about to close it down. But we are seeing that all the moves that Microsoft is doing is paying off. Having PlayStation gamers have some access to some of their games and paying full price is working out. So they are cornering that market. They are cornering the market when it comes to MAUs, where it is there are more people playing Xbox games than ever before. Just look at what Derek is saying here. Derek is saying Xbox games reach over 500 million monthly active users. PC Game Pass revenue is up 45%. This is phenomenal. He went on to say that Microsoft gaming revenue increased by 5% in Q3 2025, implying Xbox made around $5.7 billion in that period. That's a record-breaking results for a Q3 prior period. So it's very clear Microsoft is making a lot of money, a lot of wise decisions by their strategy. We know that the console sales going up will not hit Microsoft as hard, because they would have come up with the slogan that everything is an Xbox. You can play Xbox games almost on any device. Now, if you want the best experience when playing Xbox games, of course, the best experience is on their platform, an Xbox Series console. But if it is you have no problem playing on other devices, no doubt this is what is working for you, and it is showing very clear with the strategy. At the end of the day, in this new climate we are experiencing, there's a lot of expensive things happening. That is why Xbox is giving gamers more games than ever before via Game Pass, more games in any direction that you want to spin it. The point is, the value is still there regardless if Microsoft would have raised the prices of their consoles or not. So let me hear what you thought about everything that was said today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.